Yeah, hello everyone. Yeah, this is Abdullah. So today we are going to see about the procurement pay cycle and order to cash cycle. Let's we see about the procure to pay cycle. As you all already knows about that, so procure to pay process it's like when we buy something, when we buy the item from the supplier and we are paying cash to the supplier. Then how we are going to account in, then how we are going to transfer to the ledger side. So this is how the procurement pay process will work. So how it's going to start in the sense, so it start from purchase requisition. After that, sourcing, then purchase order, after receiving, then AP invoice, after that AP payment. So this is the standard process for all the Oracle application P2P cycle. So who is creating the purchase requisition? So any department from any side they can create the purchase requisition. So any department can create the purchase requisition. So who is going to source the material? So once we get the purchase requisition from any department, suppose if you take inventory, from the inventory department we got the purchase requisition. So this purchase requisition directly goes to the buyers. So buyers only eligible to create the purchase order. So he has rights to create the purchase order. So buyer's role is required for creating the purchase order. So any requisition come from the any department. So it will it will come to the purchase department. So what these people will do, he create the purchase order. If the material is available from the supplier, we have already negotiated by the supplier, we can create the purchase order. But if it is a new supplier, then this sourcing will come into the picture. So what we need to do, supplier bidding process will be there. So which supplier is giving a low price, then we will go for that supplier. Once the negotiation is done, after that we will create the purchase order. If supplier is already there, we are having this supplier for long time. no need for the sourcing. Once the requisition is created, after it goes to the purchase order. But if the supplier is not there, it's a new item, we are going to purchase from the supplier. So the negotiation will happen, the sourcing will happen. So what the sourcing will do, so we will quote some amount to the supplier. Suppose I, so this item costs around 100, this item is cost around 100, we will get the least price as much as we can. So one supplier will give 98, another supplier will give 99, third supplier will give 96. So the buyers will always compare with the supplier amount. So whichever is best for our buying process, we will choose one supplier. So for example, 96 is a affordable price. So we can able to buy the material from this particular supplier. So we can choose the supplier and we can create the purchase order against the supplier. So according to that, supplier will send the material to our inventory. So sourcing will be the negotiation part. Once the negotiation is done, after that we'll create the purchase order against this supplier who is willing to give 96 rupees for our codes. So once the supplier send the material to our inventory, there our receiving process will be take place. So we are going to receive the material. So a receipt will be having three method. One is for direct, sorry, one is for standard, direct, and inspection. There are three way of receiving the material. Suppose this one will be the costly item. Our item is the very costly item or something we need to check before we receiving. We can choose the inspection. We no need to for inspection, it's for urgent requirement, we can choose as a direct. Standard in the sense it's always be the standard, like it will go to the checking warehouse, after that it will come to our standard warehouse. So keep in your mind, if it is a urgent material or something, you can keep as a direct. So once we receive the material, it directly goes to the designated inventory. But if you choose a standard, it will go to some other sub inventory. From there to our designated sub inventory will come. How there is a two process. So inspection will be the three process. So once the inspection is done, so there itself we can approve or reject. If the product is damaged, or if the product is not there as per our quantity, then we can return the material to the supplier. So for that purpose we are choosing this inspection. So this is how that receiving transaction will be take place. So once we receive the designated sub inventory, So this is our standard receiving sub inventory. Designated sub inventory is a standard receiving sub inventory. Suppose when we have a option for standard, direct, and inspection. When we choose the standard, the item will come for the sub inventory. Okay, after that it will go to our designated sub inventory. This is the normal process. If anything urgent requirement, for urgent basis, you can directly receive from there to here, from the from the gate to you can receive here. So the amount of goods will come received by this designated sub inventory. So inspection will be one more place will be there. So inspection team will come and check the item whether it's any damages or any missing item is there. They will check if the item is missing or any damaged material we are receiving. So these people will return to the material to the supplier. So if everything is fine, then these goods will come into this sub inventory. After that only we will receive this sub inventory to designated sub inventory. Now this is how the receiving transaction will be. And fifth one will be AP invoice. So after we received from the supplier, then we need to create the AP invoice to our instance to paying. So what is the paying amount we are going to pay? So how much amount we are going to pay to the supplier? So that amount we have to create in our instance, in Fusion instance. So supplier name will be take place and what items and how much cost, everything we will create in the invoice. Once we created the AP invoice, after that we have to create the AP payment. So here we are paying through NEFT or UPI. Anything is available for the payment method. Here we are actually paying the amount to the supplier. So some supplier bank will get credited once you generate the AP payment. So this AP invoice having the information. So what the goods we are buying, how much we are, how much we are having the discount, everything you can see in this AP invoice amount. Here you can just paying the amount to the supplier. So this whole process will be the procure to pay process. So next we are going to see about the order to cycle process. So first point is customer creation. Second, sales order entry. Third, picking process. Fourth, shipping process. After that, we have to create ER invoice, then ER receipt. So this is the standard procedure for all the O2C cycle. So customer creation is a first step for O2C cycle. So if you are created already the customer for all the customer, then it will start from sales order entry. So most of the people they've already created the customer through the FDA process or something. When you do the transaction, so this will be the first process. So sales order entry. Suppose you are having retail shop, the customer ordered one item to your shop means. So there itself you will create a one sales order entry. So in that sales order entry, what and all information you will put? Customer information, which item you are going to sell, and how much price we are quoted, and then shipping information. So this all information comes under the sales order entry. Customer info, item, and the price information, then shipping information. So where you are going to send the material. So when you create the sales order, so this many information is required for the retail shop. So after creating the sales order, so once the customer ordered any item from your suppose just take example for we are maintaining one showroom, one bike showroom. So Honda Activa, he booked the Honda Activa, and we are going to sell this Honda to the customer. You just take I'm just taking one example. Okay, so Honda Activa is a product. Okay, customer is XYZ customer. XYZ customer, and the price we quote for 90,000 rupees, Indian rupees.